We're going to solve a polynomial equation by factoring. So here are some of the steps. Number one is you want to set the equation equal to 0. Then factor the polynomial the ways we've learned already. Then set each factor equal to 0 and solve for x. These will be the x-intercepts on the graph if they're real zeros. If they are complex zeros, then they aren't going to have any x-intercepts. So here's our first example. Use factoring to solve this equation. So the equation is already in standard form and it's set equal to 0. So now we're going to find the GCF. So we're going to take out the x and we're left with x squared plus 2x minus 48 equals 0. Now we look inside and see if we can continue factoring this piece, which we can using the t-chart method. We say, what are the factors of negative 48 that add to 2? So we start listing off the multipliers of negative 48. So negative 8 times 6, when you add them together, you get negative 2. Negative 6 times positive 8, when you add them together, you get 2. That's the one we want to have work. So in factored form, we still have this x out in front. Don't forget about that. And then we have two parentheses. Now we have x minus 6 and x plus 8 from this negative 6 and positive 8. Still setting that equal to 0. Now you set each factor equal to 0 and solve for x. So one of the factors is x equals 0. Another factor is x minus 6 equals 0. And then the last factor is x plus 8 equaling 0. Now we solve each of them for x. Well, the first one is already solved, so that's x equals 0. The next one, x minus 6 equals 0. We will add 6 to both sides to solve for x. And we get x equals 6. So there's your second solution. And then your third solution is subtract 8 from both sides. And you get x equals negative 8. So those are your three solutions to that polynomial equation. Second example, x cubed equals 49x. We first need to put this in standard form, so we're going to subtract 49x from both sides. Now it's set equal to 0. We take out the GCF first. The GCF is an x, so we're left with x squared minus 49 equals 0. Now we look inside of the parentheses, there's two terms left, so we can do the difference of two squareds. So now we have that x still in front, and then inside, that x squared minus 49 will be x minus 7 and x plus 7. Now you set each of the factors equal to 0 and solve for x. So one of the factors is x, so x equals 0. The next factor is x minus 7. Set that equal to 0. And the last factor is x plus 7. Set that equal to 0. Now we solve for x. So the first one is solved, x equals 0. The next one, we're going to add 7 to both sides. So we have x equals 7. And then the last one, we'll subtract 7 from both sides. So x equals negative 7. So there's your three solutions. Example C, we give you a polynomial, and it's in the blue. First step is to set that equation equal to 0. And make sure it's in standard form. Now we're going to continue factoring, and we're going to use the grouping method. So I'm going to group the first two terms together, x cubed minus 4x squared plus negative 3x plus 12. Now we take out the GCF of x squared, and we're left with x minus 4. Take out the GCF again, negative 3, and we're left with x minus 4. Now, our new GCF is the parentheses, x minus 4, and our leftovers are with the stuff in front, x squared minus 3. Now we set those factors equal to 0 and we solve for x. So the first factor is x minus 4. And the second factor is x squared minus 3. And now we solve this individually for x. So in the red, we're going to add 4 to both sides. So we get x equals 4. Now we'll add 3 to both sides. So we get x squared equals 3. Now we need to undo that squared, so we'll square root it. Don't forget the plus or minus, so there's your 3 solutions.
Yeah.